Welcome into our BTN studio in Chicago. It's the BTN Soccer Report. Kevin Egan alongside a man that looks a little bit less jubilant this week, Aron Hyde, back from your travels.
Yes, as the picture shows, a very emotional game. Away in DC, two teams both fighting for points in the playoffs. Di Rosario scores a penalty in the 90th minute, only for us to go straight back down the other end and score twice.
That's an absolutely classic photo, I love it.
Yes.
Well, on a serious note, it was business as usual in the Big Ten this past weekend. Let's take a look at a couple of results that stand out.
Yeah, first of all, Indiana, 2-0 up, and they gift away 2 goals and end up tying, and then Ohio State winning in overtime against Penn State.
Well, the game that's not on the board is the game that we chose as our game of the week, and it was at Lakeside Field. Northwestern have really turned their season around since they were hammered 4-0 by DePaul just a couple of weeks ago, and they continue their excellent form with a 1-0 win over Wisconsin. Nick Gendron with that glancing header late in the second half to give the Wildcats the win. Well, that win puts Tim Lenihan's Northwestern in top spot, so let's check out the standings, Aaron, and what really looks obvious to you in the standings here?
Well, I think you see the top 4 teams here, and as we move on, and we see that the key defining factor here in the last couple of weeks of the regular season is going to be that these teams have all got to play each other, and I think it's all going to come down to who can hold their nerve a little bit here and pick up points.
Absolutely, and the one game that you were at over the weekend was the Northwestern-Wisconsin game, and let's just talk about that for a moment. There was one play in particular, the goal, was obviously the winner. And it really stood out to you from a defensive standpoint. Wisconsin were poor. Yes,
very much so. As we'll see on the first clip here, an early warning sign from Northwestern here as Nick Gendron's header just goes over the crossbar. And then as we see the goal itself, quick throw, and Nick Gendron manages to find the gap between the centre-back and the left-back. And then the other thing for me was Max Yenet's positioning, I think.
What does he do as a goalkeeper then? Is he supposed to come out?
Yeah, no question. When a ball's headed and scored with inside the 6-yard box, you've always got to be looking for your goalkeeper to come and deal with that.
Absolutely. So disappointing result for Wisconsin. But as you said, they all have to play each other. So why don't we take a quick glance at the remaining games for these 4 teams?
Yes, we'll start with Northwestern there. I think they're at home against Indiana. They can really put some daylight between themselves and the chasing pack. And also Indiana dropping points this weekend, that turns into a must-win game for them.
Absolutely, Northwestern, Indiana, a key win, obviously, for the Hoosiers to win that game. One man that stood out so far this season is Hengi at Ohio State. You picked him out earlier on in the season as well.
That's true. And that should be interesting, with Indiana hosting Ohio State for the final game of the season. Hengi and Enrique Zavaleta, both top scorers so far in the Big Ten, and that could be a very good shootout down in Bloomington.
Well, a huge success story for Northwestern so far this season is centre-back Nikko Boxall. Nico joins me from Evanston now. First off, what a win on Sunday, Nico. What's the mood like in the squad right now?
At the moment, everyone's feeling great. It was great to get a win against Wisconsin as they were undefeated, and now we're the only undefeated team in the Big Ten, so everyone's feeling great, and it shows in our camp, so it's good.
Well, earlier on in the month, you were beaten 4-0 in DePaul, and now you've gone 5 games. You've won 5 games, and you've drawn 1 since then. So, what was the secret behind the turnaround?
I think mainly it was just everyone's starting to find their form, and everyone's coming together, and we're starting to play much better as a team. That's pretty much what it comes down to, I think.
And then Nico, your brother. He had a successful college career at UC Santa Barbara. He's just finished his first year up at Vancouver in the MLS. How has his insight and advice been good for you to adjust and adapt into college soccer?
It's been great having him there. I try to text him as much as I can, and he always asks how I'm doing and how things are going. So it's good to have him there, and he keeps me working hard and on my toes, and his experiences at UCSB definitely helps for him to pass on what he knows and what he's experienced, so it's definitely helped.
Excellent. And then me and Kev both here curious about your thoughts on New Zealand's recent victory in the the Rugby World Cup. It's the first one in 24 years, and we were curious whether you and your assistant coach Neil James have been able to celebrate.
Yeah, I definitely think we on Sunday, I think going into the game it helped, get us going a bit. So we were both very stoked about that, and I think we definitely celebrated it in our own little way. It was a great victory for New Zealand, and I couldn't be more happy. A little bit sad that I missed out on being there for it, but I mean, win's a win, so yeah, it's great.
Nico, the game was at 3 o'clock in the morning, our time. Did you stay up and watch it?
No, I didn't actually. I couldn't do that. I had to get my sleep and get ready for the game. But I did wake up early and just watch the highlights before getting ready for the game.
Perfect. And Nico, one of the most amazing sporting traditions in the world is obviously the haka. Any chance of a quick 10-second rendition?
I don't think there's enough room here, but maybe another time.
That's unfortunate because Kev was saying the same thing. He's been doing some tango lessons lately, and he fancies his chances a little dance off there.
Well, tango's certainly not as manly as the haka, that's for sure. Well, Nico, we really, really appreciate your time. So thanks very much for joining us, and good luck with the rest of the season.
All right, thank you very much for your time as well.
Now, big news announced a few days ago. Fox has won the television rights to broadcast the next 2 FIFA World Cups here in the US. The 2018 competition will take place in Russia and 4 years later in Qatar. Now, soccer fans, make sure to get your free programming alerts on your mobile phone. Simply text MSOC to 20284. You'll get all sorts of interviews with your favourite players and coaches, and messages and data rates may apply. So we're going to wrap it up now in just a sec, but your final thought heading into this crucial week of Big Ten play, Aaron?
Yes, Ohio State, they travel up to Wisconsin, a game I'll be making the trip to myself, so hopefully a little bit of entertaining soccer for the weekend for me to make my trip up to Madison.
What's your prediction there?
I think it'll be a very tight game. I think having watched Wisconsin Sunday as well, very well organised, disciplined, really do need to kind of push a little bit more in the final third, get numbers forward to create some more better chances, because they were really few and far between for Wisconsin against Northwestern. So maybe a 2-1 Ohio State victory.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to next week's show already. We'll leave it at that for now. Thanks a million to Aron Hyde, our producer John Bulfin, and all our fine team here at BTN. Make sure you do check us out on Twitter at BTN Soccer Report. Get your questions and thoughts into this guy here. He'd love to answer them. So that's all for now. Until next week, take care.